In previous video, we've already started to talk about what American produce, and we focus on talk about the GDP, gross domestic products. And here on this slide, I'm showing you the rank of the country based on the GDP. So the number one is United States, which has 16,244,600 millions of US dollars, and the number two is China, number three is Germany, and the number 10 is South Korea. And the next question I want to ask you, so does it mean for the people who live in the higher GDP country will have a higher living standard? So take a few seconds, think about this question. So when you think about this question, I want to show you another list, which is the rank of the country based on the population. So the China have the largest population, which has 1,360,720,000 population. Wow, it's huge. And for the United States, it's only 317,566,000 people, which rank number 3. So now you can consider the question, my question again. So for the country who have higher GDP, does it mean the people will have living higher standard? So obviously not. So for the country who have the larger GDP but also have a larger population, which means for each individual they only take up a small share of the GDP, they shouldn't have a higher living standard. So how can we measure the people's living standard? So economists are very smart, so they create another criteria that is called per capita GDP. So that is use GDP divided by the population. So the economists use the per capita GDP to measure people's living standard. That is more reasonable. And so now let's compare the rank again. So you can see on the table on the left-hand side is the rank of the countries based on the GDP per capita, and on the right-hand side table, that is the rank based on the GDP. You can see the country move up and down. It changed largely. So if we based on the GDP per capita, we can find the Canada is the number 1, and the United States number 2, and the China is number 9. But if we rank the country based on GDP, we find the number 1 in the United States, China is number 2, and we even the Canada is number 8. So you can see the big movement. So this telling us the people living in Canada have the highest living standard. And now I want to show you a video that is the top 10 richest country in 2013 based on the GDP per capita. Before I show you this video, you can make a guess which country can be the richest country, which country have its highest living standard in 2013. That will surprise you. You never think about it. Just open your eyes widely, waiting for the list. that's a really surprise result. That is the country you never heard about it before, right? So actually, the quota is in the Middle East. So now you can understand why. Because nobody want to live in that area because it's full of deserts, but they produce a lot of the crude oil, so that country is pretty rich. They have very high GDP, but fewer people. So if you have a higher GDP, but smaller capita, and you will get a large number. So that is why quota is the richest country based on the GDP per capita. So in the recitation, we will have more practice related to the GDP per capita calculation. So enjoy the recitation and the rest of the videos.